Welcome to SANE Readiness in Illinois. This is an educational piece to go along with a study on sexual assault awareness and the knowledge on sexual assault nursing. Here are the facts. Every 73 seconds, an American is sexually assaulted. 1 out of 6 American women have been a victim of attempted or completed rape. Rape or sexual assault was the violent crime least often reported to law enforcement. Only 28% of those are reported. In 8 out of 10 rape cases, the victim knew the perpetrator. Between 1/3 and 2/3 of known sexual assault victims are under the age of 15. An estimated 92,700 men are forcibly raped each year in the United States. Among developmentally disabled adults, as many as 83% of females and 32% of males are victims of sexual assault. This is often because they are in contact with several adults throughout their days that they are told to love and trust and become victims. Women with disabilities are raped and abused at a rate at least twice that of the general population of women without disabilities. Only 5 out of 1,000 perpetrators will ever end up in prison. So what is sexual assault? The state of Illinois defines sexual assault as the sexual penetration of a person while using a threatening or to use force or know that the victim is unable to understand or give knowing consent. Is a family member of the victim and the victim is under 18 or is over 17 and holds a position of trust over the victim. Penetration is defined as any slight intrusion of one's sex organ, anus, or mouth by another's body part, mouth, object, or animal. Consent is defined as freely given agreement. A manner of dress or lack of resistance does not constitute consent. So what is SACETA? SACETA is the Illinois law that governs sexual assault emergency treatment. SACETA stands for Sexual Assault Emergency Treatment Act and mandates how a sexual assault survivor is supposed to be cared for when presenting to an emergency room post-assault. As of January 2019, there were several updates to this law. One major change is that only a SANE or a qualified medical professional with specialized training will be able to perform a sexual assault exam as of January 2022. So let's take a look at what happens when a sexual assault happens to a victim. And this is what happens in the neurobiology of the brain. So when a survivor is traumatized by sexual assault, the prefrontal cortex undergoes a loss of regulation. This affects the survivor's basic reasoning process and higher function ability. During the assault, the amygdala will take control, and in the case of trauma, the fear circuitry is at the forefront. This puts the survivor's survival reflexes into motion, and several things can then happen. In tonic immobility, the survivor will become paralyzed and unresponsive to any external stimuli. During collapsed immobility, the survivor will experience a loss of muscle tone and changes in consciousness. In disassociation, the survivor may describe a feeling of being checked out, still being in the room but feeling separate from their own body. Trauma can then lead to altered memory encoding and consolidation and can create the phenomenon of islands of memory. This can lead the survivor to recall pieces of the assault out of order because they are pulling information from different areas of the memory. Understanding the neurobiology of a sexual assault is vital for the survivor's care. So secondary victimization is a phenomenon where the victim of a sexual assault is re-traumatized by healthcare workers, law enforcement, the judicial system, and social services. This can be greatly reduced by having a qualified medical professional or a SANE perform the medical forensic exam. So what is a SANE? A SANE is a sexual assault nurse examiner. They're a forensic registered nurse who receives specialized training in medical, psychological, and forensic areas. A SANE will perform evidence-based treatment and assessments, collect forensic evidence, and provide expert witness testimony in trials. SANEs are critical in the support of sexual assault survivors from the beginning of the recovery process. The SANE's mission is to prevent secondary trauma to the sexual assault survivor, provide compassionate and sensitive approach to the care of this victim, provide a complete expert medical forensic examination. They provide a consistent, qualified medical professional throughout the exam. That is to say, that survivor will only have one caretaker during the whole process. They will not have several different caretakers coming in and taking care of them. A SANE will also provide a referral for follow-up care and counseling. They also provide expert courtroom testimony. SANE training. There are several stages in becoming a SANE. After receiving initial training, the RN becomes a SANE trained RN. This RN then undergoes a year-long clinical training period. Upon completion of the clinicals and approval of the SANE coordinator for the state of Illinois, the RN becomes a SANE. The SANE then can continue to practice as a SANE. After the completion of 300 hours or a 3-year period, the SANE can test to become nationally certified. SANEs can be specialized in pediatrics, adult, adolescent, or both. Each would require separate training and testing. SANE program benefits. They offer high-quality evidence collection, increased conviction rates, increased victim reporting, consistent care by a qualified medical provider, decreased costs of sexual assault to society, a reduction of re-traumatization of a victim.
Hi, my name is Emily, and I'm going to talk to you about what it means to me to be a SANE nurse. It's kind of hard to put in words. I'm kind of left with more feelings than I can just describe. But the ability to provide so many different types of skill when doing SANE work is unreal. I find a lot of pride in being able to take the education that I've received and the tools that I have at my disposal and be able to provide care to somebody that's going through arguably the worst situation of their life. Being able to wear the hat of a forensic evidence collector is amazing. And being able to provide psychological help to a survivor, being able to take and give them control after they've lost it is paramount in their healing. And as an individual, as a nurse, to be like in the situation where I can provide that to somebody, it's heart-filling. It's not an easy task by any means, but through the education and through my preceptor, I've learned tools to be able to cope, to be able to educate others on how to cope, how to get through, how to gain control back, how to not take blame, and being able to empower somebody because I'm a SANE, being able to empower another person and give them back something when something has been taken from them is incredible. It makes nursing just a million times better to me. So I'm proud to be a SANE, and it means more than I can actually put into words.
What does it mean to be a SANE? As a SANE, I can offer medical treatment to a sexual assault survivor. I can offer prophylactic medication if they've been exposed to an STI. I also document injuries and collect evidence for law enforcement. But it's also more than that. It's being there. It's being there for someone during one of the worst days of their lives. When I walk into a room, it's my responsibility to create a safe place for that survivor. And sometimes that can take time and patience. It doesn't always happen right off the bat. And I can't fix everything or make right what's been wronged, but I can help the survivor gain back some control that's been taken from them. I can set them up with agencies that provide counseling and support services and legal services. But I think the biggest part of being a SANE is listening, being a good listener. It's so important not only for the documentation to pay attention to detail and record the facts and the history, but it's even more important as a SANE to be a good listener for the survivor. Many times this is the first time they've ever told their story, and they're scared and frightened, understandably, and they don't know what I'm going to think and if I'm going to have judgments towards them. And so, as a SANE, it's my responsibility to not be judgmental, to be there, to listen, and support them during this time. I had one survivor at the end of an exam lean over, and she started having me weeping. And she just kept repeating over and over, "Thank you for believing me. Thank you for believing me." And I think as a SANE, that's the biggest compliment I could have said.
So the need is there. With a sexual assault occurring every 73 seconds in the United States, the need for properly trained medical personnel to care for the survivors is vital. Even though there are approximately 2.86 million nurses in the United States, the number of SANEs are very low. The International Association of Forensic Nurses reports certifications at, for the entire United States, 1,222 SANE A's, 510 SANE P's, which is SANE A is an adult adolescent SANE, SANE P is a pediatric SANE. And for Illinois, we have only 34 SANE A's and 14 SANE P's. So the need is there.